Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you are doing well. In today's video, I decided to paint and draw based on a challenge, an emoji challenge. And I'll be doing the pieces in marker. I did 2 pieces in this challenge and in this video, and they turn out quite different, so stay tuned for that. So as you may or may not know, I'm trying to get my hand more on using markers, and it's a bit of a challenge for me because I don't have all the colors I need in markers, and it's much harder to get markers to work the way you want or the colors, because with paints you can mix your own paint, and in digital painting you have infinite amount of colors you can use. So that's a bit challenging for me, and that always makes me discouraged to start a piece in markers. But I thought, okay, how I can make it work. So I decided to put on a challenge for myself to do so. So it maybe makes me to want to draw, and by the name of the challenge, quote unquote, it makes it easier to screw up. You can be like, yes, it's a challenge, of course, a challenge, it's hard. If I mess up, it's okay. So I'm building a mental barrier for myself here. Anyways. So the challenge is, I asked my sister to give me a set of emojis. Could be anything they wanted to be, and I didn't have any specific theme or whatever. I'm going to make a piece or build a character or an illustration based on the set of emojis that she gives me. So I asked her to give me 2 sets, one of which is this set of emojis. As you can see, we have a clown situation. He's probably sad, a rabbit, and some circus thingies. So I came and started sketching on my idea sketchbook. And I asked my sister which one should I do, because I was, debating on some of it. I wanted to, mix them. Let me just mention this here. I was in really bad timing. It was really bad timing. So there wasn't anything spectacular, coming out of me. So I was just not going to waste my time to redraw or brainstorm some more ideas. So I just went based on what I had in the book. And she said this one, the pose that the clown is hiding their face with the rabbit mask. So I have the rabbit, which in a mask form. I have the clown, she's wearing the costume, and the eyes are watery, sad, the eyebrows are pinched, and also she's holding something. I wanted to pose the, what should I call that really? The circus stuff? I don't know. I wanted to give it a different shape, but the framing of the book didn't allow me. She just had to hold it, like, place her hand, some kind of a board or a desk, something that she's, leaning onto and holding the thing she probably going to use later on a show, I don't know. So that was my idea. So I started by sketching it out first in graphite pencil, then I erased it, then do it in color pencil, and then I erased it and I started doing marker. It was already very time consuming, and I wanted to, for the second piece, I wanted to actually not do this, one pass of this color and the other color and then do more color pencils later. But right now I'm gonna tell you that you should do it, doesn't matter the amount of time it takes. For the coloring, I had kind of pre-planned what colors I want to do. I had references for the colors, but as I told you, the color variation or the set of colors I have, it's not as comfortable to use as some other sets, and the range of colors are very low key to very high key, and the contrast isn't working. So I try to limit my color palette to mostly the skin tone and nudish color, very muted blues and pinks and oranges. But later in the piece, you can see that actually is a huge problem, because then all the colors are very too samey and such a complicated, not that complicated, but I mean there's hairs, there's costume, there is the skin tone, there's the mask, there is the other things in the piece, that they all kind of share the same value range and they all like the same color tone. And that's such a problem to me. But I try to work it out at the end of the piece, and I also use color pencil to outline the piece to give it a bit contrast and make it separated and make it not too samey, if you know what I mean. The sketchbook that I'm using, I actually bought it recently to specifically work on it with markers. It's a mixed media paper, but I don't know, I have it in another color, and I thought, okay, this white paper also is the same, like it's just the different colors. But no, it doesn't at all react good with markers. I'm gonna zoom in a bit on some pieces that the transitions are all blotchy and it doesn't melt together, if that makes sense, and the other paper which is toned does. And I thought it was same color, but it's just whiter, so it shows the markers better and all. But now I know that the texture and the material is different. So yeah, hooray to me! I have a brand new sketchbook that I only used a couple of pages, which is not very good for markers, which I specifically bought it for markers. Anyway, I make it work anyways. About the clown, I really like the idea and I would love to build on the story. It's really interesting to me that the story could be really profound, very interesting if I have actually the time to build the story for it. I'm not sure about that, but anyways. So as you can tell, some of my markers, which is a basic marker, I made a video on this and reviewed it on my page. It wasn't sponsored or anything. So I bought this basic set of markers which have a chisel tip and brush tip. And I also have all these other markers that I don't remember the brand right now, but I might write it here. Those are all one-sided and chisel tip because they are very old and I didn't buy these for paintings. So I wasn't thinking about a brush tip at a time, but it would be very nice to have because I'm not at all comfortable with chisel tips. But I make it work here anyways. painting process, it was this time that everything was really just looking all the same. So I had this purplish, pinkish purplish color, and I used it to give it some depth and shadows. If you know, I was complaining in one of my latest videos, I think it was the fairy videos, that my paintings don't have depth because I just convey the material, or I just basically show the ambient shadows. But here I tried to use that purplish color to give it some depth and darken one part or one side of her, and I think that helped a lot. At the end of the piece, as I told you, I used some color pencil to give the piece a bit more definition and to define the details. I think this step is very, very necessary in a marker piece, because it doesn't matter how, let's say, detailed the sketch is. In my case at least, I think it does need the last oomph of, color or something to separate it a bit. I think it's my case maybe that I was just complaining earlier about, that I don't have all the colors I need and everything seems too samey. But I think at the end it turned out really cute and I really like it. So off to the next one we go. The next one, my sister sent me this set of emojis. Well, it's just, when I looked at it, it was like blank at the first, and then I brainstormed or thought of an illustration in my mind, and I just sketched it, and it looked very nice and cute, so I was just, yeah, let's go for that. What I thought was, okay, let me just sketch two little brothers playing a game based on the emojis I had, because I couldn't build up a story. As I said before, it was a period of my time, or I don't know, a month or in my week, that I just was not inspired at all. So I went with the bare minimum here, I can say. The idea or the illustration is not bad at all. I really like it. So what I did in this illustration is two brothers in their bedroom playing a game of Star Wars, maybe. And by Star Wars, I mean not the movie Star Wars, because I never watched Star Wars. Yeah, I know. They are playing a game, and I had those emojis like in their games. Obviously I used all of the emojis. They have these fiery papers in their room that they cut out themselves. There are also scissors and everything, so they build this scene for themselves, fire and Star Wars, maybe in another planet and stuff. And because they are playing this game, I thought maybe they are into space and into all these things. So their beds are cloud shape. They have stars, moon, sun in their bedroom, a spaceship poster and everything. And they also have robots. Why not? So I can't say it right now that this piece is not my favorite at all because it didn't turn out good at all. One is that, as I said before in the clown girl, I did the line art about 3 times. And one time was the graphite pencil, the other time was that nude pinkish one, and there was another turn that I did. And I was tired at this point and I was like, yes, let's just omit one step of that. So I just did graphite and I did very hard line art on top of it, and I was like, yes, I'm just gonna use markers and there won't be any line art at the end. Big mistake, because the marker just carried and smudged all of the color pencils together, and if you can see, all of them are smudged and it makes it look very dirty. I don't know if it shows in the camera, but it is very dirty. And for the colors themselves, I wanted to not use variety of colors because I don't have a variety of colors. So I was like, yes, let me just give it a value kind of a base room. For example, it is very sunny in the middle. The sun is coming down. The other part of the room is not lit. So the colors are not showing that much, and I wanted to just base it on a hue kind of a tone. And I don't know if it worked out. I don't think it does look good. My sister told me that the blue parts, they don't look like being in the shadows. And I think she's right, but it didn't have any other blue that I could do. It was this one or very, very dark blue, and I didn't know if I should do that or not. I think if I did that, it would be better. I don't know. But then I did the middle part. Everything looks so pinkish, even though I tried to use more peachy colors, but it doesn't look like sunlight. So everything that could go wrong again did go wrong, and this idea of the illustration was very cute to me, but I don't think that I was able to, let's say, carry it or draw it the way that it was in my mind, so I'm not very satisfied. I did again try to do it digitally. Kinda I knew from the beginning that I was going to mess up. Maybe, I don't know why I thought that, but I took a picture from the line art stage. Then I, imported in Clip Studio Paint and I started painting. But I was already tired at this point and I was over this piece. So I didn't try that hard in the digital version as well. For example, I could have done the line art separately in the digital, so I could have used other blending modes to make it look good. I don't know. As I said, it's a challenge. It could go wrong, and it did. So at the end, I insert the Clip Studio digital version of it as well. I think the digital version turned out better, of course, but it's still not very pleasing. But you let me know on that end how it turned out. Please tell me in the comments what you think. Do you think I could make justice to the challenge or I just blew it? So let me know, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!